Welcome back to House Guest with me, Hailey Fennel. I'm a psychic medium, and this is the podcast that connects you to the other side. Today, we have the lovely Tobi Goring on. You can find her through Washington State or Virginia Psychology Today, through her company Life Compass Counseling. Listen through to the end, because what she does, her purpose, what her soul is calling her to do, is one of the most beautiful things that I've heard. It's a topic that's really close to my heart, which is suicide prevention. So listen through until the end for all of that. But for now, send this to a friend who might need to listen to it. We connect in with a few of Tobi's people on the other side. And thank you so much for Tobi for being on. If you guys could like, subscribe, review the podcast, it helps more people find it. And I really, really appreciate that. And let's see, I think that's it. I know that you guys are going to enjoy this one. And Tobi, thank you again. And it's Tobi, right? I'm saying it right. Okay. Have you ever had a psychic or mediumistic or a psychic medium reading before?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, good. Sometimes it's so fun when people have done them before. I like it both ways. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But sometimes it's fun because you'll be more familiar with the language and we can just kind of jump into it. That said, like, anything and everything can come up. And if anything I say doesn't make sense, let me know. But it's my belief that when those on the other side, so anyone that we know who has passed away and is on the other side, they come forward in readings, they really want to like support us. They want to like help us through whatever it is that we're going through in the moment. Even if they weren't the kind of people that would have done that in life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes a bunch. And I am going to connect in with whoever's there. And I'll lead us through a little breathing exercise to start. And then I'll get to that part where I say, do you have any questions for this person? And it can be anything and everything. And if you have any questions along the way, just let me know. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes. And you're welcome to close your eyes too if you want. And start taking a few really good deep breaths. Just start to imagine that we're sitting, you and I, in a really big, wide open field. Imagine that our souls are starting to communicate and are coming closer and closer. Imagine that anybody and everybody you know who has passed away and is on the other side is coming forward. Imagine that they see, hear, and know you. No matter how long or short it's been since their passing. And then take a really big deep breath. And just imagine them coming closer with support. And imagine them coming a little bit closer and a little bit closer. You might even imagine them here in the room with you. Or you might just be aware of their presence. And then take a really big deep breath. And as you feel them nearby, knowing that they can communicate without having to use words. And one more big deep breath. And you can open your eyes when you want. I'm going to open mine too. Okay, lovely, good. I want to see where this is going. There's like a few different things going on. I get a male that comes in quite close. He feels a bit kind of like dad to me that's on the other side, or someone fatherly like. Does that make sense to you? And then you're always welcome to tell me no, that it doesn't make sense.
It wouldn't be a direct, because both my dad and stepdad are still living.
Yeah.
There are a couple of family friends that have passed away that it could be, but intuitively, there's only one person that I can think of that I had he and I had a close bond as a family friend, and he is directly related to what I do for work, if that's who it is.
I like it. Let's see. I'm going to see. I'm going to be transparent with how it feels to me. I'm like, it's interesting. I don't know exactly what it is I'm doing with my hands yet. But usually when I get someone on this side, it's like a dad's, either like a relation to dad or a closeness with dad is fine too. Or just like someone that would have, fine, lovely, good, there we go. Or someone that maybe we wouldn't have called him dad or father or anything like that, but he would have had like a similar feeling, like would
Yeah.
have mentored us, watched over us, been with us. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And it just feels really good to me to let you know that, like right here in this spot. Love it. Good, good, good. I'm gonna have him come a little bit closer. He gets really excited and happy to be here. He also says it in a way as like, I'm still leading Toby. Like I'm still like just leading her from the other side. Does that make sense to you? Okay, love it. Good, 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 good. Like she's like harnessed in this relationship to me from the other side. I'm one of her guides. He touches the back of my neck. For me, that always means like, hey, like, can you tell Toby I'm still guide to her? Does that
Okay.
make sense to you? Okay. Good, good, good. Lovely, good. Okay, lovely, good. But he says, he's like, Hailey, like, she's very intuitive, like, I'm intuitive, she's very intuitive, like, you're intuitive, but she uses, like, her intellect, her academia, her mind a lot more. Does that make sense to you? Okay,
Yes.
and he just goes, me too. Like, I'm kind of mind centered or mind forward. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then I like he like does he just had me take this really good big deep breath and he's like, gosh, wasn't that so fun when I was alive? Like he remembers that quite well for himself and he loved kind of getting really deep into things and like do you understand him researching things and sifting through things just to get to like the one point that he wants to make or he wants to research even more? Does that make sense to you?
No, but if
Okay.
it's who I think it is, we would have deep conversations around the campfire.
Okay.
Um, we have a song, there's a song every time I hear it, it reminds me of him.
Oh, I love
Um, and so we have a lot of really good, so he's, has this, if it is who I think it is, he has the same birthday as my dad, but he's, believes 6 years older.
uh
So, but, and he knows my dad. So, but he's
Okay.
connected to my stepdad. If it's who I think it is.
Yeah. I mean, I love all of that. I think your intuition around who you think it is going to be, as long as all of that information makes sense. I know I'm doing something funny with my hand. What I'm going to do is I'm asking him, he says, to this kind of feels like a trout in water.
And
To
that's
the,
funny because the memory I'm thinking of is when we used to go fishing.
oh, I love that. And then, okay, so I'm gonna have to say this part out loud. This is like a trout in water. That's like the visual he's showing me. But for some reason, it's like searching and searching and searching for things and then plucking out like the little bits of information that we need or catching, like if we were to go for catching. Does that make more sense for you than for him?
I think so. Because I'm trying not to make it who I think it is if it's not him.
Yeah, so it's funny. It can be tricky in psychic mediumship like that. Hold on, I'm gonna see.
Because I don't want to feed you energy if it's not who it is.
If it, you don't want to feed me energy if it's not who it is. Well, I think as long as, well, I'm going to ask you this. So the trout fish makes sense to you with him, right? And the like closeness with dad or like I'm putting him on this side of the body with dad. Sometimes like that's all it is. And then what we do is like, we just have to like trust that it's him. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, okay, so that's who we have with us. And he's like trying to give us as much information as he can. But it's always okay to tell me no too. So the part where I'm like, okay, interesting. So he like won't let me stop doing this with the trout fish. But what he wants to talk about is like someone, and if it's not him, it's okay. But I do think it's either him or you. So if it's not him, I feel like it's you. Does it make sense for you? It's like we're searching through, we're using like our intellect and our mind, and we enjoy, like you, Toby, you enjoy researching and like sifting through a bunch of information, but just to get to like, okay, there you go, to the one piece to connect it to the next, to the next, to the next. Does that
That's
make
me.
sense?
That
Kind of
is,
like a puzzle piece. Does that
yes,
make sense?
that is me. That
Um,
doesn't really fit with him, but that's
okay.
me to a T.
I love it. They see us from the other side, and he's like, what they do, what he's doing right now is he's trying to get to the thing that he really came to talk about today. He's like, I
Okay.
want to get to this thing that we're going to talk about. And so he kind of talks about fine, love the good, you putting in these puzzle pieces, like bit by bit by bit, getting it all together. Lovely, good, good, good. He goes in a way that only you could do. Like you're the only one that could have found this information and put it with this information and put them together. And now people's eyes are opening to all the different possibilities. Does that make sense?
Yes.
He says, but like through your research, through what you're doing. And so to keep putting like puzzle pieces like that together, you're the only one that could think of it in that way. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh, wow. That gives me chills.
Oh, good. And he is with you along the whole way because he loves hearing about it. He's like, if I were still there, I'd be like, tell me everything. Like, what are you doing? Like, let me read your work. Let me get into it with you without him doing it himself. But he's like, this is fascinating, is what he calls it. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. He is with me. I think of him because he started this whole thing. Try not to cry
That's
because I don't want
okay.
to give it away. I'll tell you at the end of what it is, but he is my inspiration for sure.
Oh, I love that so much. I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful. He loves you and he's here and he's excited. He's still here and we can ask him questions in a little bit. I know we talked about that earlier, like asking questions. And so I want to give him a lot of space to do that. But he keeps making me aware of a woman that's on the other side that wants to come through.
Okay.
That feels like quite important. She actually comes in more on mom's side of the family for
Okay.
me and could quite possibly be mom or okay or
Not
somehow
bio mom, but
okay, but
I
like
have
a
quite
mom,
a, I have a
it's like
couple
the
of
same
mom.
thing. Yeah, like okay, fine. I'm like if not mom feels like mom. I sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, like I want to be right, but then I don't. I'm like, well, I don't want like your parents on the other side clearly. But what it is like they kind of don't care what it is that like they're like, Hailey, you're gonna be wrong, but I know I'm meant to say it. Like this
Yes.
is this woman coming in right here, and it's as though she's giving me like a really big hug, and it feels like the type of woman that I could just like hug back and it feels very like soft and like if I had the best mom in the world, how I would want to give her a hug, sort of
Yeah.
thing. That's just how she feels, both in life and on the other side. So she's coming through. Are you okay if I kind of pull her forward and connect in with her even more?
Please do.
Okay. She's lovely. She says, I'm all good over here. All good over here. There is something with like getting her voice back or being able to speak more clearly. She all of a sudden like asks me to speak clearly. And she called me a bit of a mumbler, like I'm mumbling. And she's telling me something about speaking more clearly or something with her speaking more clearly. Does that make sense to you?
There's one, but her warmth, if it's who it is, she's a month older than me, so she wouldn't be the traditional mom figure.
Yeah.
Um, so if that's who it is, she battled with cancer, and the second battle is what took her life. And she did literally lose her throat. She had her throat cancer.
Okay. And I'm just gonna make sure I heard you right. Are you saying is that the same one that you can imagine like going up to and like hugging like mom like or is
So
that
we did hug each other in life, but the first person intuitively I thought was somebody else. But she did also pass of cancer, but she did have a voice and she did speak, and I mean literally and figuratively. Um,
Yeah.
so she
Yeah.
was able to say goodbye and have a voice.
Yeah.
But it switched
When
when
I
you said
started
that.
like I'm like
Yes.
what's going on here?
Yes.
This feeling to me is so prominent. This more like motherly
Yeah.
feeling is more prominent. So I'm just going to check back in with this. And
Okay.
it's the other woman can be here too and she might have just popped in for a second just to say something, but no, I'm going to say she can come in if she wants is what I'm going to say. It still feels like this like an older woman to you because I'm like, "Ooh, a month apart. That's different." It feels more like I could even imagine her just around your mom's age or the possibility of that. She comes in really close. I'm just gonna see what she says with this. I'm just gonna say this, and if it, you know what, there we go. If it resonates later, perfect. And if it doesn't, no worries. It's more like she is all of a sudden making me speak with more of a pronunciation. I, as like can be guilty of falling into a mumble sometimes. she makes it just so certain to me that I need to speak more clearly and is like helping me with it. So there's something with like either her personality, but it feels really good and warm. Like she's not being mean about it or anything. She's just like, it's almost like her presence makes me want to act better, like makes me want to do better, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But she comes in really close on. She's going to go back to this. She's going to come in really, really close. She wants to do that for you, like come in and give you like a big hug, be near you. She feels you near her towards end of life, maybe even like laying your head on her shoulder at some point. Does that make sense to you?
If it's who I think it is, who I'm feeling, it wasn't, it was not the end, but it was when after she got her second diagnosis, I went to go see her.
Yeah.
And if it's who I think it is, she was like a second mom.
Okay,
And,
lovely.
and we've known each other since middle school, when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And she, uh, is my, well, I'm trying not to give too much away, but if it is who I think it is, I have her commemorated on my body.
Oh, lovely.
And she is the reason why I make sure I go get mammograms every year.
Okay, perfect. I love it. I think that's like she feels it, and it's like such a it's such a interesting way to say this, but what a lovely way to like remember her, to remember someone is to like make sure that you're taking care of yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's truly like what they want when we connect into the other side. It's like, how can we remind you to just take care of yourself, to do
Yeah.
what you
And I
want?
take care of her, make sure that her daughter is taken care of too.
Yeah,
So, who is my best friend.
I
Um,
love that.
and I do a lot of things to help with breast cancer research, and I've done 5K races, the race for the cure, done
Yeah,
all that. But there's this, I've also have delivered messages in the midst of grief to my best friend, because there's a certain thing, if it is her, I now wear gloves when I wash dishes.
uh-huh.
I never did that growing up. And so there was one time I was doing dishes and I was kind of laughing because I'm wearing gloves doing dishes. It reminds me of her. And
Yeah,
I got a message and I told her daughter, my best friend, about it. And it was right after she died. So I was able to do some grief. And every year when it's been 2 months yesterday, but it's been 11 years
yeah,
now or so. And so, every year I always send, well, we talk daily anyway, but I always send a thinking of you text to her on her death anniversary. So
yeah,
yeah, if that's who it is, but that's who I feel it would
yeah.
be.
Yeah, and you can feel it probably even more so than I can, like just
Yeah.
that closeness and that knowing, like that knowing of who it is the most important part. I love that so much. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna ask her to come a little bit closer. There's also a bit of like, thank you for letting me take care of you. This would be like in the midst of life, like in her full swing moments where she's like, she felt so loved if she could love on others, if she could take
Yes.
care of others. She's like, that's my love language is like, um, making things, feeding people, like
Yes.
giving people gifts, sort of thing. Money. This is what sometimes
No,
what
it was food.
I like
Even
food.
to this day, she made the best homemade Caesar salad.
Oh, it's my
And
favorite.
so I remember even in high school, and I would come home from college and I would go over there and I'd say, Debbie, will you please make your homemade Caesar salad?
I
And it
love
was
it.
the best. And so we tried, and she catered our 10-year, right before she died, she catered our 10-year high school reunion dinner.
Oh, I
And we're
love
about to hit our 30-year this summer. And so every reunion, it's always like, oh man, I
Yeah,
wish we had Debbie's
yeah.
salad.
I love that. Like a great, I mean, this is just like a little bit for me, but a little bit from her, but a lot because you just said it. Like if you guys were to make that and bring that just like in
Yeah, we
a way.
do.
Love
There's a
it.
lot of stuff that um, Rachel, her daughter, my best friend, we do a lot, and she'll try to emulate or she'll try to replicate. and it's not the same, of course, but we'll always say, "Oh, this is my mom's strawberry pie," or this
Yeah.
is, we're trying to make that Caesar salad. It's not the same, of course, but we're trying.
Yeah, I like, it's like it could never be the same, but at least it's like in the effort of trying that you'll
Yeah.
feel her nearby. I love
Even
that.
my tattoo, it takes up my entire forearm, but it's a unique breast cancer ribbon that I
Yeah.
tied in, and it got messed up.
Hmm.
The tattoo artist used the wrong color, and it looks all scarred. And I've left it that way for over 10 years because she had a double mastectomy. And
Hmm.
what happened was is she got scar tissue, cancer on the scar tissue, and that's how she ended up dying. She recovered and lived, half of her life, and then that scar tissue cancer metastasized, and that's how she ended up dying. So I kept the tattoo the way that it is because of her scar. So I figured it's
Yeah.
it's not it's still perfect in its imperfection.
Yeah. I mean, I love that story so
Thank you.
much. Like, and what a, like, that's kind of one of those examples where like there are no coincidences, but
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, you know what? Like, I think it's just meant to be.
Yeah.
That's,
That she was and still is a second mom, and what would Debbie do or what would Debbie say? And she was hilarious.
hey,
We would just almost like pee our pants laughing, just all kinds of funny stories. Even one time after an oncology appointment, we went to
yeah.
the movies, the three of us, her daughter and I. And I remember one time I had this glass, we snuck in snacks and beverages, and I remember I had this glass bottle and we were sitting at the top, and I accidentally kicked it and it rolled down the entire movie theater, just clank, 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 clank. And everybody kept turning around and looking, and I'm like, well, there, and we laughed so hard we missed part of the movie. We just could, and it was a complete accident, but it was after, her oncology appointment. So
Yeah.
we just had a lot of, and her best friend is her sister who is still alive. And so we get together and we'll laugh and cry and, in her honor. But she's still living as long as we keep her alive.
Yeah.
She's still living. So,
Yeah.
and even her grandchildren, she didn't get to meet. Um, I call them my nieces, but Rachel's
Yeah.
daughters. And so we make sure we keep those stories going so that they know who their grandma is and was.
I mean that's like the most
Yeah.
meaningful thing you can do for yourself and for all of the other people that are still here. I have to say, so like in the while you're talking, she's whispering in my ear something about Toby being a grief specialist. She calls you like a grief specialist, and that like nobody knows how to go through or move through grief in the most beautiful way than Toby, is how she
Aw.
puts it. And kind of like gives you like a round of applause, but then she also does this very gentle like push forward, like keep going. You're meant to like go into it, and then I'm not sure, she brings up those puzzle pieces again, and she's like, it also has something to do with that, Hailey. Like tell her that she's putting the right puzzle pieces together so that she's pushing herself like in the right direction. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. And she kind of calls herself your guardian angel around it. Like, I'll help you continue with that. Male too. He just pops back in. He's like, look, I'm over here. She's over here. But if you could imagine us just like guiding her from right behind her, by all means, you're leading the way and they just get to like follow and guide and be in support of you, but very, very like proud and excited for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, wholeheartedly. He's my veteran and she's my civilian angels. So
I love that.
that's a hint.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to like ask you all the questions. I'm like, it's like on the brink of like, can I just ask Toby some questions? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close my eyes one more time. And I just still feel her here. That's why, because she just feels like, look, I've got a few more things to
And
say.
he gives the best hugs too, by the way.
I love that. They do. Sometimes when I feel spirits like this, I want to like keep them with me for a really long time. And they're like, sure, 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 Haley, we can be around you, but like when we get off, they're just with you. They're like
And they
they're
both
with
start with D, by the way.
what?
Their names both start with D, coincidentally.
Oh, D.
And both from the same area. They're both from hometown.
Oh, I love
So
it.
we
Like
may
it's
actually know each other.
yeah, like a kindred spirit sort of
Mhm.
thing. We'll notice that like people in our lives kind of come in patterns like that, right? And it's like they tend to be. I have lots of very important Gregs in my life.
Hey.
Gregs or Gregors, if they're listening, hi. And I have a theory that all Gregs are good people, Gregs or Gregors. I don't know, just a feeling for me, the ones in my life. Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes, close my eyes. There we go. Okay. She does say something about, so, okay, fine, hold on, I'm gonna get into that. She does say something about you being better about getting out of the house more. She's like,
Right.
it's like she's been so much better about that, like getting out of the house. And because you're doing that, even though it doesn't seem related, work stuff and life stuff is like coming in quicker for you, like solutions to problems, things that we need to do next. And like life is happening at a faster pace as of late. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And so she's like, keep doing it. Like when you get out of the house, you get more done. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's one of my goals right now.
Okay, good. It's like she's like, you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be like, wait, I don't have time to get out of the house. I gotta get this stuff done. She's like, no, no, no. You put your like yourself first. Get out of the house. Get more done. Get out of the house. Get more done. Like those are gonna coexist together. So she'll help guide you through that. The next time you're kind of feeling that like pressure of like I should just stay in and get this thing done. Just be like, okay, fine. I'm gonna go and on a walk with you. Come with like both of them can come on a walk with me and we'll go get things done. But they do say you've been better about it lately and that you've seen the rewards so that you're doing it more. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay, good.
100%. Yes.
I love it. Okay, do you have any questions for either of them? And then I do like because you brought up your friend that had a hard time talking and it might have been some of her coming in. She's here too. She's like me too.
And she starts with D as well.
Wild. So wild.
She's
Well,
my,
I'll say this. She feels good, like all of a sudden, like she makes this really tight for me all of a
yeah.
sudden. And I could even talk about like chakra clearing with that. But she actually takes a deep breath and she goes, but when you think of Tobi, she goes, this isn't blocked. Tobi's good at like speaking her truth and saying what she needs to say. You might be better at writing it down
Hmm.
first, but like if you were to read what you write, you say it quite eloquently. It's like, so she goes, it's not necessarily blocked for Tobi. It's just to let you know.
No.
Yeah.
Um, she actually came through. The last reading I had was on my birthday, and
Oh,
it was um, a local psychic that was doing a group dinner banquet kind of thing. And then I happened to be sitting there, and she called it, and she came out, and it happened to be my birthday.
oh,
And she passed a year ago, um, that month in October.
yeah.
And so she's the one that was like my sister that's a month older than me.
Yeah.
And she would probably say this chakra is the one that I need to work on the most. And my, my, well, probably all of them, but
Like your gut area and your
that
heart
one and
area.
my sacral and
Yeah.
solar,
Yeah.
probably the most. But, um, and it's my confidence. She keeps
Yeah.
saying, I need to trust myself. That is I need to trust myself is
I
what
think when you speak, you sound so confident. So just remember that like if you're not feeling confident, just start talking, even if you're a little bit scared to,
uh-huh.
because you'll notice that how you're saying it is quite confident, and then it just like will build from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
like this will catch up to this, but make sure to use this because you speak quite well, like confident, and that could be even from like, your friend's mom, your best friend's mom that's coming through. She's like, look,
Yep.
like you are not a mumbler like I am.
I'm either silent like a Buddhist monk or I'm a motor mouth like I just took a bunch of Adderall. So
I love it. That's
I'm a
perfect.
Scorpio. So,
I was gonna ask because you said October. I'm a Scorpio too, but I'm a November Scorpio.
uh, yeah, I am one of those Scorpios that I'm very, very private, but I'll let you know what I want you to let you know. And
Yeah,
I can
that's right.
talk if I want to.
That's it.
She's she and I feel like I'm supposed to help continue her legacy. And that is something before she died. And I had a dream right before she died. I saw her basically I turned the corner literally in my dream, but she was younger, like a younger version of herself, and she turned the corner and she came and looked at me, waved, and then said, I'm good.
Yeah.
And a week, I think it was like a week or so later, she died.
Wow.
And so I
And this is
told
your
her,
friend's mom,
yes,
right?
no,
Yeah.
my friend,
Your friend.
the
Okay.
one that with the voice.
Okay.
And so um, that's one of the main reasons why, besides I wanted to hear from whoever would come,
Yeah.
one of the main reasons why I signed up for this reading is life purpose and as well as the soul purpose and making sure I align with them because of, again, I'm trying to not give away too much.
Well, tell us now because we're coming towards the
Okay.
end, and I think like our community would love to hear it. But first, I'm gonna say one thing. Oh yeah, I already told you the I guess I'm curious if it has anything to do when you say life purpose, soul purpose, what comes to mind is a grief specialist. I mean, that is like it I feel it actually talk about sacral, which I'm not I was gonna say maybe some Reiki at some point you might be interested in, but like I feel that in my gut for you and it feels so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see any pugs, by the way, in the fail?
Hugs. I can now, but it's because you mention it. Sometimes in readings, they'll have me do this thing where I know that animals are present, but if you want, I can try to tap into them real quick.
If you have a minute, if they
Yeah.
will speak, because they
I
speak
would
to me,
love,
but I want to hear what they have to say. It's been a minute.
I would love to. Okay, so pugs, I know you said it with an S. I'm assuming two pugs. And then you're okay if I tap into them, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. We'll just have them come. It just feels good to have them around. Like the second you said it, it felt really good for you to ask and mention it. Okay, lovely, good, 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 good. One of them actually like curls up on my lap, quite like calm. Like, sometimes we think of little dogs being kind of hyper. There's one that's actually quite calm.
So,
Like,
Pierre.
I'm just gonna sit here, like, and it feels really good. And you might even feel that sometimes just on your lap, like an awareness of like, that's me, is all he wants to say, like right there. And lovely, good, good, good. Okay. Do you understand like a little bit of like balding or like a red rash around the eyebrows? Do you know? Do you understand what I'm saying? He
I'm
goes like
wondering if
this.
it's internally, because Kirby had undiagnosed neurological issues.
Okay.
So, and pugs have wrinkles, so it could have been, but it wasn't an actual like injury or
Anything
medical
like that.
issue while they were living. But I'm wondering if it was maybe how he felt his neurological issues on the inside.
I'm gonna say this. It's like one of them points to like here area, but then like snuggles into you. Like I wasn't feeling good here or something's going on here, but
Mm,
I'm okay because I'm near you or I'm with you. Does that make
yeah.
sense? So it's like all good. I feel okay, all okay. They're very much still around. Like it's almost the feeling of like I'm having a hard time differentiating between here and there, even with them. It's
Oh,
like we're
okay.
just like our energy is so much still around.
Yeah.
And I love that you feel that. And they go talk about grief support. They go animal grief support. Isn't
Yes.
that the best, is how they put it. And they're like helping to guide you through some of those like lessons or ideas or things around animal grief support. They're like very present for that when that's at the top of your mind. Because they're
You
like,
can't
it's
see
so
it, but
true.
I actually have three pugs. One was a rescue. I only have for three, and now I'm on my fourth. I have another rescue pug.
Yeah.
But I have there are three urns right here on display. So yeah, they were my kids.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they were
So
my little
beautiful.
soulmates. So
Yeah.
I'm a it's a second career. I used to be a financial advisor for almost 20 years, but I'm a clinical mental health therapist. I am a suicide prevention and reduction therapist. So I
Mm.
work with military. So my goal is to help stop the 22, which is military suicide. So that's my sole mission. And then I work with civilians as well. So specifically with borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
So I two very high risk suicidal and self-harming diagnoses. So, but specifically grief.
Yeah.
Um, and I have had clients for reach out to me for animal grief, pet grief,
Yeah.
and and I am becoming, so my PhD is existential psychology, which I do a lot of grief, but specifically moral injury.
Hmm.
And so the gentleman you talked about, Dean, is a Vietnam vet, and he would tell me stories of his experiences. He was shot 6 times and survived.
Wow.
And there were plenty of stories that he told me that he didn't feel he could tell anybody else.
Yeah.
So I took that, and it took me a while, it took me about 20 years, but I ended up getting my second master's to become a therapist. And I focus on his stories I took with it. And now that's what my focus is on, not just any topic, but moral injury, specifically with Vietnam veterans. So I have worked, and I work with active duty. That's why I live on the East Coast now. I work with the largest naval base in the world right now in private practice, but I have active duty and veterans. So I am doing my dissertation on how to reduce suicidal and self-harming behaviors with combat veterans experiencing moral injury. So that's that missing part, and I tie in grief, shame, and loving kindness in with that to um, help keep them alive, literally and figuratively. So how
Yeah.
to go the bookends of life. I'm born and then I'm going to die. So what can I do in between to try to have the best life that I can with what I have? So that's my focus, is allowing the grief and
Yeah.
living with that love and kindness. But moral injury is a soul wound. And so there's research about the last 10 or 15 years, but there isn't a whole lot of intervention or a whole lot of clinical training. And
Yeah.
so I am going out there and just one person at a time, and it started with a Vietnam vet when I was an intern at the vet center in Washington State, where
Yeah.
I started my moral injury uh, path in life. And so Dean, he's a Vietnam veteran, is who has been my influence this whole time. So I'm so grateful that he came
Yeah.
through, and he's my guide to help. And because of him, I am also a former military spouse. I was hoping he would come through, but he recently died a year and a half ago suddenly. He's my age. He was a Marine. He went in the Marines right after high school while we were together. And so his influence is there every day too. I
Yeah.
was hoping my two pugs, because they were our pugs. So I was
Mhm.
hoping, I visualized him. His name is Adam. So he's also my influence, being a
Yeah.
military spouse. But that's what I do. And I focus on both civilians and military, but my heart and soul is military. So I try to save one person at a time. So
Yeah.
I need to get out more. So I'm a telehealth therapist. So that's where she was saying I need to get out more. So
Yeah.
I am nonstop at I'm doing telehealth nonstop. So I'm trying to get out more, doing my concerts and doing my things that bring me joy. I need to get back on my spiritual track. So that's what I do.
I mean, absolutely amazing. Like, I love hearing about all of that. And the suicide prevention is really close to my heart as well. And I commend you and thank you for doing the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
I'm intuitive, and I have these gifts as well. So
Yeah.
that grief aspect is that I use these tools, these spiritual gifts that I have, and
Mhm.
I don't do readings in my session, but I will take I apply it therapeutically. So
Yeah.
I've been able to take these messages that I hear with the clients, loved ones, and turn it into a therapeutic modality so that they can get some grief processing. So
Yeah.
that's how I balance my
Yeah.
spiritual gifts with grief counseling.
I love that. And I have to say, so I'm sorry that I missed Adam on the other side.
That's
That
okay.
can sometimes be this spot for me too, like when they come in that close, but I think I felt that sort of dad energy in there. Um, it's not that he's not there. He's there all the time, right? He is likely helping to like guide this whole conversation. But I know that you probably connecting with Adam like a good bit all on your own and just to trust that.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
were together more than half of our lives, so we're
Yeah.
connected. Yeah.
You just know each other.
Yeah. I
That could
talked to
be
him right
like
before,
here.
I made him laugh right before he died. So,
Yeah, that's good. I
yeah.
love that. What a great memory. What a great
Yeah.
way to connect in. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's always like that's me that missed him. It's not that he's not there, you know?
No, no.
Yeah.
I know. And
Yeah.
he is an influence for sure, but I'm very grateful that you tapped back into the pugs because I've lost a lot of humans, but the biggest grief for me is my pugs.
Yeah.
There's, yeah. So
Will you
thank you.
show us the urns real quick if that's okay with you? Or
Let's
not?
see.
Is it too hard? I'm always so.
You can kind
Oh,
you
look.
can kind of see them.
Yeah. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Um, I'm starting a business with another woman. Her name's Court Bechtel, and we're like looking into to grief products that help people feel as though they can like have them out and about so that they can talk about them. And because I really believe that sometimes we get uncomfortable either asking about someone else's grief or we're
Mhm.
uncomfortable talking about our own grief, thinking that we're making people uncomfortable when really we just need to talk about it sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I
And
love
that's
that
part
you
of
like just have them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of my PhD dissertation and um my consulting aspect of my personality is I want to create death education for counselors,
Yeah.
doctors, and nurses. We're not trained, so
Yeah.
I get therapists referring people to me for grief counseling,
Yeah.
and I don't do grief counseling like a support group. I do it from a therapy standpoint. So we do it, and I've taught groups. I'm a DBT trained therapist, so I do a lot of groups. And so there's trying to break the stigma of death, dying, and bereavement is one of my professional goals too, but spiritual goals of and using my spiritual gifts in a healing way is through that death education and then also just breaking that stigma of death.
Yeah.
Um, and it is, so I don't do spiritual counseling per se, but I am existential. So I can, if somebody wants to do spiritual counseling, I can, but I still have to follow ethics and guidelines. So I'm considering opening a second private practice where I can do more of this spiritual, not in a conventional way like how you do readings specifically, but it would still be more therapy or more coaching.
Love that.
But
People
using,
need
I can
that.
openly say like, oh, I'm picking up this message
Yeah.
without breaking any ethics or guidelines. So
Yeah, I love that. And I love because I'm with you. Like I like to tell people I am not a therapist.
yeah.
If you need a therapist, please go to Toby. Um, and I love that distinction. It's so important. But I also love you creating a space because you have that therapy background combined with the spiritual gifts that you've been given. So I love that you're
Yeah,
thinking about
thank you
that.
so much. And so I truly appreciate your gift to me. As Danny, my friend with the throat issue, would say, Toby, every time I would give you a reading, every message I would come up with, the theme is trust in your abilities. And that's the thing is that I second guess myself because of this, the logic part.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so
We
that
do.
part gets in the way is because I understand how the brain works. And
Yeah.
so sometimes I'll say, was that my brain or was that my intuition? Was
Yeah.
that and trying and so there's she would always in life and even in death, she kept saying to me, trust, trust, trust. You've got
Yeah.
this.
That's
So
right. Just
that's
trust
my
it.
goal is to do a spiritual grief healing kind of practice at some
I
point.
would love
But
it.
yeah,
You'd be so good at it. You're the perfect person for it. I
thank
love
you.
it.
So that's what I do. It's Life Compass Counseling. I'm
Okay,
in
perfect.
Virginia. I'm licensed in Virginia and Washington State. Unfortunately, we're limited on who we can take. So if anyone's interested, I don't have a web page per se. I'm on, we do Psychology Today, or if you were to, I don't really do social media because I'm full for the most part. But if I have a hard time saying no to military clients.
Yeah.
And so I usually try to find, this is why I struggle getting out, because I tend to want to help everybody. So
Yeah, like you
yeah.
just want to do your work. I feel ya. Yeah.
But I'm laughing because I'm taking a break from my PhD this summer and
Okay.
just working. And I have trips planned. I have concerts planned. I have all these things to get out of the house. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'm on it.
I love it. It's perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
so just so that people will know for sure, so they can find Life Compass Counseling if they go to Psychology Today, right?
Yeah. So, and I can, um, it's Life Compass Counseling in Washington State, and it'll pop up under Virginia as well. So,
Okay.
yeah. And Tobi.
Okay, perfect. Are you comfortable sharing your last name?
Yes, it's
Okay.
Goring, Goering.
Okay. So people can find Toby Goring, Washington State, Virginia, Life Compass Counseling on Psychology Today. I can't thank you enough for, first of all, sharing everything that you shared, but also for doing what you do. It's so needed today, here, and now.
Thank you.
And it's work that's really close to my heart and people that are listening to. And I know that they're really going to appreciate hearing everything that you had to say and do. And
Thank
we
you.
are all cheering you on. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your gift. This has been something I've needed, even though I know it intuitively. It's nice to have that that reassurance and affirmation that I'm on the right path.
Yeah, you are, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toby. Bye. Thank you, Toby, for coming on. Again, that is Life Compass Counseling on Psychology Today through Washington State or Virginia, and that's with Toby Goring. Thank you, Toby, for coming on, for sharing everything that you do, and for being a part of this podcast and helping people move through some of the hardest moments of their lives just by getting to listen to your story. The more we talk about it, the better we'll feel. If you guys need any resources, please feel free to go to my website or reach out to me personally, and I'll help send some your way. Again, like, subscribe, follow this podcast. It helps more people find it, and I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Toby, for being on, and until next week.